possession line, and then teeing up to Ketelera and De Bruyne in the middle. Handing out at right back for Egypt, you feel is going to have their hands full.
So Ibrahim, central defenders, next to Andy Fati. 5 of the players in the national 11 are with Al-Ahli, the champions in Egypt. For the test there for Brandon Neckerman. It's part of this defensive setup for Belgium. Zeno the best because of a leg injury. Trying to rejuvenate the defence. Belgium, much needed rejuvenation, was Doku, who can be a handful for opponents, particularly in 1-versus-1 situations. Thibaut Courtois.
It's easy to do against a hitter like this, known for using the entire field.
One of the best there was. Didn't really see too many mistakes from him. Paul, in the place for Lille in France. Defended by Charles Bekentelane, who's playing as the central striker in the setup. Garcia goes his opposite number. Hassan, who is the all-time leading goal scorer for Egypt. And the sort of Mohamed Salah has a chance at this World Cup to get past him.
It's an interesting balance that Belgium have got to have. They want to press, but all the games are being played through like that, and with the pace of the players we're talking about.
Committing himself from boisterous play for him. Very much his trademark. That was neat and tidy from Egypt. It was Henny who tried to feed it through. We're looking for the likes of Salah to join Omar Marmoush, the central striker in this constellation. Mustafa Zico, one of the attackers as well. For the Pharaohs.
Just looking at seeing him, I'm not sure. Down here on the left-hand side of your screen, the number 8. Wondering where he was going to put the dynamic, where he's out on the left-hand side. Also very central, in behind Marmoush, centre. Almost in there as a 4-4-2. Fake 4 in there. To play like this, Egypt, always within the mindset of going on beyond the Belgian backline. Some of these players, including him, going untested at such a high level. Plays in our France and Lille, but internationally, only 4 caps so far. He's got to have his eye on the whereabouts of where Marmoush is, and Mo Salah, and any number of players.
Fati to switch the point of attack. To ride the challenges, Onana with a misplaced pass from him. An opportunity for Egypt to build again. Omar Marmoush was waiting in the centre. The arm raised, wanted the quick ball, couldn't get it. 4th World Cup for Egypt. It'd be harsh to call them World Cup flops, but they have underwhelmed successful African countries. If you look at the African competitions from the years, back away, machine, one of the more defensive-minded midfield players for Egypt here. Vibrant Seattle atmosphere. This is very much a football, soccer city. All the way to the years of the NASL. Castagna is put to work. He's been given an order left back by Vinny Garcia, the French coach of Belgium. Salah on his birthday. His final season with Liverpool best forgotten. You're certainly not going to forget all about his wonders at Anfield down the years.
He's a fantastic, wonderful player. One of the greats that play against us. He gets in certain positions and then as a keeper, as a defender, there's very little you can do to stop him at times.
Onana De Bruyne. Keep the ball moving here, Belgium. His way into the starting 11.
Torres.
That's very much his style. Tielemans. He's there. They get the line at Tielemans. Doesn't take that far away. That's influencing from down the middles.
Well, by Kevin De Bruyne standards, see the space he's got, he knows he's got that time. It's just that first touch isn't out of his feet, just gets stuck under a brilliant, really good movement from Tielemans. That's where Belgium are dangerous. Off the left-hand side, the combinations they can get between their players. De Bruyne sitting in waiting there. He's in the prime position, just didn't quite get it right.
His later years for Belgium, he's become more mentor than metronome. Using the word enjoy and enjoying it much more now. I'm sure it's often that he is at the ultimate of his career.
There's very much the perfectionist playing against him. He always got so frustrated when things goes awry. He's always managing the team on the pitch, and he does like to dictate play and boss around his teammates, but it felt like that grew into frustrations at times when things weren't going well.
To know what to make of this Egyptian side, march through qualifying with a pretty good recent African Cup of Nations, making it all the way to the semi-finals. Reliant on the two stars, Marmouche. At their best, they wear a very compact look.
Get stuck a little bit in these sorts of situations. Lachine and Atia, the defensive midfielders, get caught on the ball in situations like this. Happened in a friendly against Brazil. They want to lure that press, Derek, but not quite as comfortable as they should be on the ball.
The pause of the proceedings here. Salah really clear for the verdict. Referee Ramon Abati of Brazil. And in the middle.
Tip of the end. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Maybe wanting to track back too much. They are in transition. He'll be wanting to sit in and sit deep, and let others do the running for him.
There's a ball winner and then some. Misty
Still talking to him. Still having a moment. Saying that to Derek. It's been a start, a very nice start for a very long tournament.
So you learn me.
This one in the air right field.
Just turned out to play back. Belgium try to get on with it. Exquisite fun. From the kick out there. Such a fine season with Arsenal, such a successful season as well. Not seeing the decision go his way.
It's an interesting position for him, Trossard, because he likes to come in off the left-hand side. I just don't think you're going to move Jeremy Doku in the form that he's in. Almost out on that right-hand side, wanting to get onto his right foot. Hasn't got the angle to shoot. I've seen it so many times for Arsenal. Come in onto his right, but from the other side of the pitch.
Targeted kicking there by Shobia Salah. Trying to get involved in the attacking action. Zico jumping out of that right flank. It's done with efficiently enough by the Belgians. It's for Doku. Going to improve. Didn't happen for him. Here goes here.
Top half of it at number 4.
0-0 with 10 minutes on the stopwatch. To you from the delightful Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Salah curls up there. Firing.
That one
Egyptian players. Marbush operates centrally.
It's not his natural game, that is it. All that play, he wants to play on the half turn there. Sorry, going to get tight to it.
Just to get to think of him as more of a false nine or an attacking midfield player, but Atalanta in Italy, where he plays his club football, becoming ever more the centre forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say that you're looking at Ronaldo, who's not a natural number 9. Pick it out of the other way. Did really well there to win the ball. It's two teams without the number 9 on the pitch right now. Sitting in wait on the bench. When we were captain for them.
Indeed, good goal scorer. He's been struggling all season long on the injury front. Glimpse there of one of their twins. This World Cup comes to the laws. See now to change a wrongly given corner kick. As long as it happens quickly, to solve it quickly. Possession wise, expect
first two set
sharing this game, but it's Egypt so far, and comes the yellow card here. Happy complaining about it.
Stepping in, blocking off and going. This is what he's good at. Stepping out of defence, driving through is a progressive part. So it's interesting for Egypt now. You know what it is to see which player they want. They know, as you say now, the Belgium are going to have a lot of the ball. Who do they want to have the ball? Justin Arna is one of the players that say maybe not as creative in midfield. Allow him to have it.
Strategy. Don't forget later tonight, FS1 double header action, Saudi Arabia against Uruguay, followed by Iran against New Zealand. Starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. FS1. Doku. Placed by Henny. Tried to react, wasn't quick enough, it was Marbush who was back there. To it in a flash. And more targeting. This time, Silla is trying to create room for himself. And another pocket. The Brazilian referee, Silla, it can be hard to pin down. Castagna was direct opponent.
You get the feeling he's run out through before. Castagna did not want to be doing that, so he made the decision to give up his yellow card, really, and now, all of a sudden, he's on a tightrope.
Sequel twisting one way, then the other. Castagna for company. Castagna. Or Fulham. Versatile fullback Willie Garcia, the coach of Belgium. Just really made a name for himself as a coach with Lille. Ending them to the double 2011. We're taking the fast train from Brussels Minis out to London St Pancras. You know that Lille is a short hop from Brussels. Same pair of hands, Thibaut Courtois. Belgium, as I mentioned earlier, the Ronde Divers. Nickname, that's in Flemish, but also have to mention the French version. Diable Rouge means the same thing. Actually, 3 languages, but English one is shocking.
So first and second down, 1 out.
You take it, Belgium. Football. Writhing in agony.
They're a main challenge. Got nowhere near the ball, taking that Doku. He's on to that. Out of way, he's clearly stepping across there. That's a dangerous tackle. And I have no idea. Tyrone Abatiawa has not given a free kick there. He's on. Oh, he's breaking through. It's a yellow card. It's a foul. Maybe Dr. asking the question. Right to say.
Clamp around, so the challenge that, wasn't it, from Eddie?
He's a professional. You hate to see those tackles because you're out of control. You could end up in any way, shape or form of it. Supports it down. That's always the key to
Here, the footsteps of his dad. Who was the goalkeeper for Egypt on the 1990 World Cup. I remember watching them. World Cup, they were rather stuffy. They grew to England, the Netherlands. Give Ireland, not many goals were scored. Still waiting for the first goal in this match. Mixed. Story for the African countries up to this point. Real credit to Verde, what they did earlier against.
Here's a 1-2. Fouled off, and they'll do it again. And at first one away.
Spain in Atlanta. The performance by Virginia, the keeper.
2 years.
Low inside. Let's go, Dustin.
Nickname, that's in Flemish. For Egypt.
Four-seam fastball. Outside.
Seven saves. Salah trying to protect the ball, looking for the free kick. We're just forthcoming
And that one
for Egypt. From Anfield, the Etihad to Seattle. Now, this earlier by our reporter Anthony Shepra talking about the Salah connections. So, just remember the game, just like old times. Sometimes they're playing in English football. There's the maestro. Salah. It can be a joy to watch. Lost time and again for Arsenal this past season.
It's not quite as fluid on this right hand side. You can see Trossard now just entering into the centre circle. He wants to come inside. Rio, right wing back, right back. He's not actually happening since right back. He's so compared to the other side, the left hand side of Belgium. This right hand side is a little bit more clunky, a little bit more stable.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rob. Good to stay at home a bit more. So there you go, Belgium used to have centre defenders playing in the full-back positions. Not all that much. Natural full-backs now. It's an Achilles heel for Belgium. It might be at the back. Younger players coming through. Salah kept it on the ground.
Yes!
Egyptian. Well, it's something special.
I want Egypt to win.
Just coming out of that left-hand side, he wants to step onto his right foot. He's capable of this, and it's really well worked. Belgium just sitting off a fraction, really stepping backwards, thinking he's going to go in behind, and that buys him the space, and from 22 yards, still got a lot to do, but it's a wonderful strike. It needs to beat Courtois, and he hammers it home. Courtois no chance. A fantastic start for Egypt. And you're looking at a man who has just scored his very first international goal. As the all-time top scorer from Egypt, he's going to be proud of that one. So Hassan, the man who suffered a broken collarbone in the Club World Cup, open out playing for Epi against Inter Miami. And a moment that he will never forget. And Belgium behind. We were talking about it in the studio earlier. Game against another African side, Morocco, the last World Cup that went awry. And never recovered from it. And the Belgians were dumped out in the group stage. And a marvellous effort now by Asur.
Wasn't it? And moving off the ball, away from him, created that space. As soon as he got that space, absolutely nothing else on his mind other than getting his laces through the ball. Fantastic strike.
Belgium respond swiftly. Teams forward again. He knew he had to work his way back all the way with the presence of Marmoush. He's trying to be a little clever there. He's just with Nicolai. It's Egypt in front. A little quality at this match break is sponsored by Lueders. A real shock to the Belgian system. The goal, cracking goal from Asur.
So, David, a lot's going on?
Well,
Gary.
that should do it.
Meeting in 5 minutes.
Great call, everyone. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Sorry, Gary.
Do you mind?
David, back on.
Australia. USA, Australia. Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily intend to sacrifice it out like that, but still good situation.
Welcome back to Singapore. Egypt scoring on the back of their first shot or attempt in this game. Adding drama to the narrative. Willie Garcia has said that he views these match breaks more as coaching breaks. And you could say Belgium were happy to have one under the circumstances.
Yeah, really, I think they were shocked by that goal. Sam, I think the game was comfortable for both teams, really. Really got good in the area that they wanted to. So a couple of times that we've seen, and you're just feeling that focus on that left-hand side. They're going to have to keep on finding a way through there, getting them into that area to get back into this game. For Egypt, it is where they want it to be now. They can hit on the break, they can play like this, they're building confidence. It's going to be a really tough 45 minutes, and maybe 45 till half-time for Belgium to find that way.
Enjoy. And yet, for Postman, delivery man in his younger days, a big mother's fellow, a remarkable fellow off the pitch, and we get the chance to chat to him. Onana. He starts his brief in the centre of midfield. Stewart of understanding with Thielmans. Trossard. Stadium making the way forward from the left back. It's pushed off Henny.
Really good change of movement there. Teams to go high, Trossard to drop inside.
Thielmans. He had been thumped into the ground. Well, he continues. Belgium have it once more. Coming to Bruyne. Chopping it through. It was Meunier who made the run at the goal scorer. Acting as the extra defender there. Assur. First for Kathleen, but he was previously in Denmark with Misty.
Really disciplined, wasn't it? Knew his role, knew what he had to do, knew that he was going to have that quality on the ball to find that run.
Reminder, James Gordon of the Outer Hours crew will be on Fox tonight. Another wrap-up of today's World Cup action. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Erling Haaland. Special guests, Fox midnight tonight. Forward to that conversation could be interesting. Here's a Christmas good anyway. Put into position to shoot. There's an early whistle from Abati, the Brazilian referee.
Sure, tracking in and tracking round again. You're making the butt run and he's just tracking back behind. Happy to take the foul right there. Sure. He's dropping in almost as a second left back at times. The temptation is for Egypt just to sit in now. Got to keep on staying brave. Can't play and play forward.
Garcia side have got excellent in the final warm-up game. They went the floor with Tunisia 5 past them in Brussels. I think I watched about 7 games that day and came away with the conclusion that Belgium were the best of the teams I watched. The Gavi. Priorities. Certainly on to him again. There's Henny. Henny. Heavy players. Still at the top for more than a ticket. Thielmans on the pass. Australia. Assur. That was well played. Just practical coordinated check. Should be running into Thielmans.
Continuously playing with his head up. He's apologising to Mo Salah because Mo Salah had made the run. Far side. Zico as well, screaming at him to play them. Just didn't quite get the opportunity.
Zico, right hand from the attack. Salah. Something about the roving condition.
Just an interesting transition, shall we say, evolution maybe in this for Mo Salah. Moving on to Barca's news, held that right touchline for so many years. Very much not that role now.
They get the ladder. Really getting stuck in. Fati. Anthony Fati. Actually plays in Qatar for Wakra. Thielmans. Dealt with in the end by Ibrahim. There's an Egypt here. There's a superb strike from Assur. Egypt looking to use Thielmans to get the captain's arm back these days in the centre.
It's going to take third man runs. It's going to take runs like this from the edge of the box, from the D, into that back line. What will Belgium have other than team Portugal, there isn't a left-footed player on the pitch. So everything's going to be stepping back inside. Egypt know that, and they're saying, well, we can defend from deep, we can defend these crosses. The runs in behind, just a great difference in something to get to the byline. Something that possibly Doku and two others are going to have to do. Not natural to them.
Egypt looking for their first ever match win in a World Cup tournament. Very decent start here against a competent Belgian side. From dark horses about a decade ago to amongst the favourites, I think we're back in the dark horse category. They've more or less kept him in check so far.
He's up against three, sometimes two players. Just a wall of white that he's up against. They know they can commit over on that side because on this right-hand side it's not quite happening.
Was the man picked out by Chicharito, Hernandez, Studio. To watch. Doku reflect that time was trying to release Kevin De Bruyne. Salah was inclined to pursue. Maybe hoping that a mistake from Italy might manifest itself. It didn't. Salah again arriving into that free position. Zico needs to do a bit of damage. Brought in from a Belgian angle, but he was able to get the touch on it.
Yeah, he's a giant of it, and he needed every inch of it. And it's a really well-judged save. That hand, the measurement of how much to put on that save from Courtois is wonderful. Because he knows too much of the hand on the ball, it just leaves it in the centre of the goal. Too little, he doesn't save it. That is top keeping.
So, that's not what he was looking to produce. And Doku, and he was challenged just as the ball went out, and there's a yellow card. And flashed immediately. They were very quite exercised on the Egyptian bench.
The ball had already gone up from Doku, but you can't go around wiping people out on the side of the pitch like this.
Fatou it was.
One goal, and then another. Fatou was making sure that rank was a clear yellow card.
So, name taken. Fatou.
Just stayed out there on his right side, just a change of angle, clearly trying to change things up, trying to provide a little point of difference.
Trossard. Giving Henry a new thought process, maybe different thought process.
But he comes inside still. Yeah, he's doing the same thing. You've got to have a man going on beyond him. How can it become predictable? We can see it up here.
Right, trying to impose himself, defensively. Salah, so much goes through him. The Egyptian king is brushed off Meunier to Nana. Castagna with a chip ball in the general direction of Kevin De Bruyne. Castagna, an experienced figure. Don't forget, tomorrow on Fox, a huge triple header, France against Senegal, followed by Iraq versus Norway, and then the reigning world champions, #1 ranked team, Argentina, beginning their title defence against Algeria. We're coming up tomorrow on Fox, coverage from 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 in the morning Pacific time. That's our time here in Seattle. It's a spectacular venue for football. This on the shore of probably sound. Views of the Cascade Mountains. One thing I've discovered in my short time in Seattle, you don't get a bad cup of coffee here. No such thing. Doesn't exist.
Plenty of competition out in the streets, isn't there? Can't tell for a coffee shop.
Haven't needed any coffee, any sort of caffeine charge so far in this game. 1-0 to Egypt. Doku is going to be halted. It's just the Belgians here passing it around. And time is Fatih.
He was just stretching a bit too far, a bit late, on the top of the foot. Painful. But Egypt just headed in towards the last 10 minutes. Really thrilled with how this is going. And talking about the crowd, the atmosphere here, it's such a heavy Egyptian presence. On the attack, it feels like there's a real energy to it. A real air of anticipation. Fantastic strike from Ashur.
Facts and figures. The screen that we're going to that. Goal scored by Asua from the Pharaohs. Still plenty of football to be played. Tindemans for the Kinderland. Just drifted out of the beginning. Last few minutes, haven't seen too much from him. Marmouche, said the song about him. And the Kinderland. François is working on the opposite flank. Keep the ball moving here. Belgium is sliding it back. Advanced position and going now. For the Lueders.
Expect from Belgium all of a sudden asking a different question. Trossard being in a position he wants to be in, fluffing his line, so Doku.
Marmouche reaching out, couldn't touch it. Meunier put that out in, and didn't come in at the end. Trossard tries to pass. To go into the first gear. Now the whistle comes from the Brazilian referee. Comes to the aid of the Belgians.
A couple of chances in there. Trossard did the clever play from Desiccated to head back and a layoff, and just twice he didn't quite get that contact that he wanted. Meunier Wine's more hopeful than anything, but it's a really clever header because he knew he wasn't going to get a decent enough contact to get it on target. From there, Trossard once with his right, once with his left, not getting the striker.
Scagnac does like to get forward on that side. Dealt with in the air by Fatou. Assour. The challenge right beside the top line.
A bit of a welcome break for Egypt here. Going to give this free kick and just take a breather. Under pressure for the conservative period for the first time in the game.
Obviously, we can commit to it. Marmouche. A little bit of a lonely figure, it must be said.
Been isolated at times.
Scampering efficiently over the Lueders. Trossard for company. Good defending here by Egypt. This one wasn't so much known for good defending, more for goal-scoring exploits. 69 for Egypt, the record scorer, but Mohamed Salah 67 with a chance at this tournament to overtake the great striker. Lines in wide. Egypt did defeat Belgium in a warm-up game before they kicked off the World Cup. So it was defeat at the hands of Morocco back inside. Belgium really chasing their tail. Actually eliminated in the group stage, which was not part of the grand plan at all. Liverpool with a shimmy. Stewart hooked up the line of the pass, which was intended for Misty. That was a sloppy pass by Misty. Salah checking his run. Defenders taking possession, but the possession phase now for Egypt.
Yeah, feeling like they just didn't want to see it through to half time now, Egypt. A bit of time on the ball, give everyone a breather. Again.
Belgium's turn to circulate the ball. Coming up, the Visa half-time show on Fox. Jules Breach, Thiago Alcantara, Crowley wide, and Chicharito Hernandez in the studio. Going to play now. And fancy moves from him. De Bruyne. Cool. Top goal was by Misty. Nothing wrong with it, apparently.
That's a couple of times have been at the end of a tough decision for him there. Sure, making the challenge. No contact with the ball. Brings it down. It'll be interesting to hear from Jules and the guys in the half time as to what Belgium can do. Look at the changes they can make. There's obviously Lukaku. You can maybe look back at your left-footed player to come into the pitch, something different. Yeah, tap-minded sense. You need to find something.
Allowed for Stadium. The spinning of ball didn't quite favour Timothy Rafinha. Succeeded in getting there for Egypt.
Not been tested yet, has he? Egyptian goalkeeper.
Marbush. The charge wheel here for Egypt. Mansour. And the right angle. Idea. Turned by Misty. Fatou. Great shots behind the ball. Sent away decisively on the referee's whistle. Reaching the 45-minute mark. Seattle, nil to Egypt.
You can see the difference in when Egypt attack with a little bit of space and a little bit of energy compared to when it becomes a little bit more condensed. That's where the surprise with the goal came. You see exactly where it came from. This was the shot, that little bit of space that he found.
Plenty of support for Egypt. Pacific Northwest. 4 minutes to the end of the run at the end of the first half. Puffing and puffing from Belgium, but no blowing the house down. Not yet anyway. Trossard. Egypt, a well-marshalled defence. De Bruyne.
It's not clicked, has it, for Belgium? The attacking flair, the talent, the prowess that they have there. Not quite worked for us.
Garcia. plenty on his mind. Seemed to be a very good fit for this group of players. They get it out.
Frustration for the manager. It's basic, it's straightforward from Doku, but it's effective, and it's a really good chance for Doku. Just get it in there, win the contacts, first and second, and then tee it up, and from there. He's scored some spectacular goals this season. That would have been something that, over that ball, with that time, he'd have fancied it. No real control in the body.
To lead for Belgium. This one so far. Antoine goes down right to the kick penalty. Swept away by Fatou. Mamouche. She's only had to play second fiddle. Just sitting to Ellie Holland. She will be with James Corden later tonight. The target so far from the Belgians. Who would have thought that football was good to go today? Yeah. Decision once again goes the way of Egypt. Very shortly, this man will be able to deliver his half-time team talk.
Is a very good barometer of how this game is going for Belgium. Don't get much from him as a manager in terms of body language changes, but whatever you do, it's to get a little bit more animated, more frustrated. You can understand why.
Simplest question offers. Goodness, taking points and going first and runners. Needed to react to that. It was self-inflicted and going in a pickle there.
Yeah, Paul had a poor decision. He's never going to get it back. It's just awkward. Awkward to us.
Ambling towards the corner flag as we speak, just in front of us here in Seattle. And so, really playing Egypt. So you have to get on with it. From Henny. To be left on the right through. Squarely another corner.
Forgets to take it quick. It's a big moment in the game. You're feeling the lack of cutting edge that Belgium have to go 2-0. That'd be a huge mountain to climb.
Salah. This one.
Had himself a really nice game at the plate. That's a
Skinner again for Belgium.
It's not like he had to come because they were in trouble. This is his teammate bailing him out because he wasn't getting there. Belgium lucky to come away with one.
That was the other first half.
Half-time here in Seattle. This has put the cat amongst the pigeons. Assur with the goal for Egypt against Belgium. Back to Jules Breach. towards right center. That's well struck. That's got a chance. Slams off the bottom of the wall. One run across, and the throw comes in. Runner holds it third. Well, he delivers in a huge spot right there.
Oh, he's so dialed in. I don't think he even realizes how much pressure exists.
Base hit, one run is in. Runner stops at third, and they're at the corners with nobody out. Here's the center fielder, Nathan Church.
I'm curious how he decides to attack on the mound. This guy at the plate has been great hitting up.
Hard hit into the gap. One run will score. And the throw comes in. Runner holds it third.
Picks himself up at RBI. Anytime you can drive a ball into the gap the other way, it feels so good. And that's when you know you're right where you need to be at the plate.
Diving in, he gets down. Took the extra bases. One runs in. Another comes in to score. The relay to third. He's got the cycle into third with a triple. And now it's Ivan Herrera.
We just might be talking about this at bat in our post-game wrap. He's cruising.
Well, this ball is crushed into left field. It's on its way and gone. There's a swing and a drop. It has the distance. Gone. Jordan Walker now at the plate. That one hammered, but pulled foul.
You know, these Cardinals do a good job of simply getting the bat on the ball in this game, and the numbers back that up. Double-digit hits and 0 strikeouts. I don't know if it's
Oh, now this is blasted. Way back there. On its way. Gone. This one ripped, but foul to the right. Pulled hard, but it's a foul ball.
And I think those numbers we were talking about do a really good job of showing us how the offense is taking what they can get at the plate.
Oh, great stop. And they get the out. Jordan in the box as he fouls off the first pitch. Oh, one down. Hard hit, but right at him in left.
Man, he smoked that fastball. It's all over it. It's just frustrating when you can't get it to fall. Maybe next time off he'll find a hole.
Hard on the ground to first. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. So they explode offensively for 11 runs in the inning. Rip, but it curls foul.
You know, these Padres, as you probably noticed, haven't been shy at the plate at all.
Ground ball left side, and foul ball. That one to first, Jordan. He'll do it himself, and that's one out as they get the leadoff hitter in the sixth. Pop foul out of play off to the right.
Well, the guy's thrown a lot of first pitch strikes as a hit. You got to be ready to hit. Now, that's not going to help you get deep into his pitch count and into the bullpen, but you can take what he's offering that day.
Foul off the plate, they'll do it again.
I'm sure it's at least something they've chatted about at the dugout coming into this one. That was probably the game plan. Attack early in the count. But doesn't seem to be working out the way they wanted to. We'll see if they make an adjustment.
Tatis at the plate with 2 away, swings through that one. Swings and misses, it's a strikeout. Picks up strikeout number 7. So he's through 6. And a foul ball.
left to right. Makes the catch. One down. Nothing you can do about those as a hitter. Even though you know that, they still drive you absolutely crazy.
But because they haven't got that left-footed player on there, they haven't got that tendency to want to do it. So expecting changes at half-time, I don't think there are any.
This game being played under the heat of the early afternoon sun over the Pacific Northwest. I know for many of you across the USA, and I hear this a lot, it's normal for this time of year, but well, trust me, for Belgians, it's abnormal. New, different conditions to adapt to, and sometimes impact the pace of the game. I'm talking to Belgian colleagues, that has been front and centre in their minds, with the actual temperature quoted quite literally. I think the Egyptian fans are complaining it's all about the temperature. It's a perfect temperature right here from the point of view of the Pharaohs.
Yeah, the game played exactly how they wanted to. They wanted to strike for the goal, and they looked to have the threat, they looked to have the dynamic movement, they looked to score when they've been attacking in the transitional sense. Is the number 10 and also the wide and right. Improve the threat enough to the crowd.
Look comfortable chance for more damage right here. A couple of RBIs for him.
So the Egyptian goal scorer, Imam Ashour, standing up with the ball. And the Brazilian referee, Ramon Abati, preparing to sound the second half into action. An intriguing encounter so far. We're in Seattle. Problems for Belgium to solve. As I mentioned earlier, not amongst the tournament favourites, Vinny Garcia's team, but in the dark horse category. This mix of experience and youth. There is going to be a bigger changing of the guard. Following on from this gentleman, he took with the lead. Ashour, that very well taken goal.
The second half stringer to that is out wide on the right. Doku is our centre forward now. How that manifests itself in an attacking sense for Belgium, we'll have to wait and see. But it is needed to make the changes, needed an instant impact in the second half.
Commented on that in the first half, didn't we? The lack of true centre forward. That would normally be Arno Lukaku, the record scorer, but he's been struggling with injuries, not looking at how fit he is for this tournament. So trying something different with this man Doku. He's the centrepiece of the attack, and the whistle goes, and the break in here for Belgium.
He's got a quick attack, no balls into his feet. Holding play isn't something that he's known for. When they do get up the pitch, he's got the licence to roll, the licence to drift. He's finding that running behind, that's the key part.
Stenya, you've got dead end there. They're attacking players. Some Zico to help out their defenders. It's been a team effort by Egypt, just as it was always likely to be. There's a suspicion of a foul. To go his way.
The school ground, that the throwing just about made it on the pitch and then it's back up again. Not known for his throwing shots up.
Look at that, Belgium 273 minutes. The World Cup action without the goal. Need to change things. But it's Zico in position. And March beside him. They kept trying to drive a chance goal. All of a sudden, it's opened up for Egypt again.
Zico, what a chance. It's a complete air shot. I think it caught him by surprise, but penalty spot, ball coming across in the centre of the goal. It's a fantastic opportunity for Egypt.
Zico beside the touchlines of Zico of Pyramids, one of the up-and-coming teams.
Well, this has been the difference, and the willingness just to run beyond, to go beyond the net and come back was on. They had a number of stabs at it, didn't they? But Zico, on his weaker foot, didn't really find the contact he wanted.
And it's by the way, they was in the African Champions League a year ago. To make a statement in a country dominated by Abi and Zamalek. So one. Certainly that time for Atia. Early stages of the second half. It's been an interesting start to the day here at the World Cup. Spain and Cape Verde certainly giving us a story. And another one building. And Seattle with Egypt in front against the Belgians. And Roy brings it forward with the Belgians. There's always going to be a Doku's free kick.
It's 1.5, isn't there, for Doku now? You've seen it. That's 2 fouls within 4 minutes at the start of the second half. Is stopping by any means possible. It's good from him, good from Tielemans that went on into the number 9. He allowed him to drop in. So he doesn't create anything for him though.
He's turning number back for Belgium. Shots on target. Big fat 0. Very good right now. Castagna for Trossard. Still has it. Want to benefit the ball. Different angle here. Covering Doku. So Doku. And there's excellent team defending again by Egypt. Now up for the line. This was by Salah. This was what separates these two countries. Salah going after the ball. Birthday boy today, 34 today. Tielemans, the recipient of the free kick. Just got a little bit chowsy on there.
No one wide now. Everyone drifted in. Once managed to get to the pylon. Precious this ball.
Stand yet for Jeremy Doku. Wanted the free kick. It's got potential danger here. Quibbles from the Egyptian players.
They're tossing apart the number of fouls on Jeremy Doku. There again. Just stopping outside the box. That's all he's thinking. Don't let him into the penalty area. He's got one left to feet. Saw it there. There's no chance of him to get anything around there. He's all of a sudden left Kevin De Bruyne in prime position.
And challenged by Atia. Now then, what can Belgium produce? There's Kevin De Bruyne. A little bit of magic in his repertoire. To show the world.
Sure, it's got his. Just see him running on the floor there. He's graphics you. Kevin De Bruyne has a history of hitting them unbelievable. Shabir in goal for Egypt is well aware of his capabilities from his range. Now Dark walked off. I thought that was a really good idea to do that. Making sure that you get that ball right on the floor.
Belgium trailing and in need of inspiration. What's it come here from Kevin De Bruyne? It is defended for Belgians. Still at the post. Not quite accurate enough.
Something for my little magic from De Bruyne. Just gets that up and down. Don't really get the jump in the ball that you wanted. That was all the invitation that Kevin De Bruyne needed. It's the up and down rather than the bend. Just not quite right on the accuracy. See that dip on the ball.
They held their breath. Egyptian fans are pretty happy in that. And counter-attacking mode, so and making the dash forward into Brazil. Misty doing the defending for the Red Devils.
Yeah, really good from Egypt, end to end in about 5 passes. Zico, right, getting that touch off his chest, right, giving the opportunity for the tackle.
Salah to deliver. Look at the disparity in terms of corners. Salah with this one, but a real threat. He's away comfortably enough. Changes afoot for Belgium. Substitutions coming. Looks as though they're going to bring on Nicolas Raskin. Perhaps Maxime de Kuiper as well. Certainly in front of us. For Egypt, to the tees and to net. And he was in a way to do it on his own, put himself by neck of it. They try again, the Egyptians. And the guys that cross the control. Some of the Belgian players were standing stock still.
And they can't believe he's missed. Because he's got all the time and space to pick his spot. That goes injured off the pitch, and there's a great big hole where the centre half should be. Courtois makes the save, and then from there, after scoring that first goal, you think he'd pick your spot. It's a bit unconventional for Courtois because it wasn't a clean header. It was down into the ground, and all of a sudden he's having to make a bit of an adjustment because of the bounce of the ball off the turf. Hats it down into his path. Alarm bells for Belgium again.
Here we go with the changes. Misty is trotting off, and so too Onana. In comes Nicolas Raskin of Rangers in Scotland. He's been one of the newer players in recent times introduced by Willie Garcia. Maxime de Kuiper. Left back to Albion on the bench as well.
Gravity full of energy, moving through.
Neckery. So then trying to get close to him. Like something. Tia. Just hurry up the pitch. Control. Something away from him. Fully committed. The Egyptian players. Fighting with too much commitment. Still they lead by a goal to nil. But they've never recorded a match win at the World Cup. In the finals proper. The longer this goes on, the longer you think, from a Belgian point of view, shades of Morocco 4 years ago.
Still early days in the tournament. The guys in the studio talking about the potential Belgium, what they've got. This will rock their confidence as much as anything.
Iran to play in their next match in Los Angeles. the right. Boku trap it. Egypt's way this time. The ubiquitous Gianni Infantino, president of FIFA.
He's spending a lot of money on tickets, isn't he, Infantino?
Omnipresent. Shot is moving against the
Brilliant from Egypt, brilliant from Mamouche up until the last moment. He's looking round, he felt like he got a touch, but one-on-one against him. All of a sudden he's got him where he wants him, he's away. Just getting the weight in for the ball a fraction too long, trying to steady himself, and a little bit of pressure from the recovery of Goy, and that was enough. But feeling there it is the game now for Egypt. Just one or two passes and they're away.
Reminder, later tonight on FS1, double-header action, Saudi Arabia against Uruguay. That's followed by Iran against New Zealand, the other game in this group. They're starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. That is one. And the movement to the centre. Taku. Down he goes. Nothing there. Nothing at all. Even though Taku is trying to get a bit of a whinge about it.
But it's the touch that's gone away from him. The ball's gone away from him. Very little contact. He's a lucky boy himself not to get booked.
Well, just watch as the Belgians try to build up again. Into that area. Tielemans was over there. Has been given as a corner. Election stations here for Belgium. Still have plenty of time to work with. It's not going to plan so far at any rate. With it, and Tielemans. Close.
That knocking, wasn't it? Blocks it out of the sky on his weaker foot. That is a brilliant connection from Tielemans. Shabir in the goal was not sure. He was scrambling.
Cross up. Right by the kick out of Andreas Boku. And this is better for Belgium. Forgiveness by Shabir. The blame is cross to himself.
Poor contact, got better energy from Belgium. More players running past, more players getting beyond. Shots attacking him. First shot on target. Not a great strike from the corner.
Goes down as the first Belgian attempt on the target in this game. Still not where Kevin De Bruyne wanted to place it. And a reminder about the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Scan the QR code to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Always enjoy it when you participate. Here they come again, Belgium. Boku is put behind. The offending was Fatou. Belgium to get on the neck. Got a feed there from Boku. And almost queuing up. Relatively straightforward take for Serbia. The wait goes on for a Belgian goal. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Romelu Lukaku is about to come on. He's down here for Egypt. No concern. The Belgian cap.
I'm not sure people the fitness of Romelu Lukaku. Incredible football this season. But just looking at it saying, would you have wanted to use him? Rudy Garcia, probably not yet. You wouldn't want to be bringing him out as great glass in a case of emergency, but this is where we are.
And Salah who touched that all into the bar of Mamouche. And taking the shot is linked to that connectedly. Oconi, Omar Mamouche will be a team for Egypt.
The whole stadium waited. Ashur made the run behind on the left-hand side, and that just bought Mamouche the time now just to get that little bit of a yard, to get the settle on the strike. It's a fantastic block, but absolutely no idea where that was going.
That's just the difficulty for Belgium.
Yeah.
The counter-attacking threat from Egypt is real. So the ball will be delivered this time. That was the answer to that. Tia who sent it in. Machine this time. Very congested. That race market here in Seattle at any time of day. Lukaku is going to be given the green light to come on. That will be it for the Kingalani. So on comes Belgium's record scorer. Romelu Lukaku restricted to only 64 minutes of action with Napoli this season because of injury. But we know he's a difference maker. He represents the great hope of the Belgian fans right about now. Can they produce this time? Lukaku! Let's just stop! And there's the magic touch! Romelu Lukaku put himself into that central position. And that's what Belgium needed.
Start to the end on that first pitch, man. He's going to walk out with that, no doubt.
Leading to the country's all-time leading goal scorer.
And within seconds, the big man delivers. And it's a fantastic run beyond from Mounier. That's what they were screaming out for. Someone just to make a run from behind. And Lukaku, a natural striker, and number 9, his presence in there. In the end, it comes off handy, but it is the presence of Lukaku that is there. No goal, but make no bones about it. That is Lukaku. That is what he's all about. Belgium back in the game.
Already Garcia jumping for joy. That might go down as a heavy on goal, but that is one for Lukaku because you have to mention the presence factor, something that Belgium have been missing throughout this game. So 1-1 here. This match break is sponsored by Lueders. The equation has been altered here in Seattle. One goal apiece. We'll be back.
Sox 2050 for $700,000.
You going back home for the games?
Irish.
Happy.
Sorry, mate. Go down to the report.
Easy.
Everything's a tackle with Visa.
And there it was. The first great American yell, echoing like a sonic boom across history. This country didn't tiptoe onto the world stage. Hell no. We were born loud. Liberty is loud, baby. Something to say? Say it. Something to prove? Prove it. Because in this country, in loud we trust.
From the producers of Nutella, new Nutella Peanut, where creamy Nutella meets roasted peanuts to form your partner in snack time. New Nutella Peanut, your partner in snack time.
It's my party, you're invited, and all your friends too. You don't have to knock, you can come right in. Welcome to my house.
Hey, be safe.
Thanks, Dad.
That's one of those at-bats where you have to remind yourself it's about the process. You did everything right there.
It's 1-1 now between Belgium and Egypt. The Egyptians have got to pick themselves up after that setback. Romelu Lukaku, by my watch, had been on the pitch for 23 seconds. We'll get that officially timed out. But you get the picture, and it doesn't look as though it's going to go down as a Lukaku goal. But certainly the history books will remember his contribution and the presence that he brought. And the change here for Egypt, Rami Ragia is on, a 34-year-old from Cairo. Actually plays on the United Arab Emirates for Al Ain.
He comes in at centre half. In fact, he's moved up into midfield. So looking at shape stays the same, but it's a little bit of a steadier ship for Egypt. I think the response immediately from Mossel Hassan is to say, okay, let's bring a leader on at the back. That's what Rabia is, and presence, and someone to deal with Lukaku. That's an attacking presence.
So it is now officially a heavy own goal. So we're just about to say Lukaku become on his own Belgium's all-time top scorer at the World Cup. Together past Mark Wilmots, was to level on 5 World Cup tournament matches. And who's to say how this is going to end? It's been a very engrossing contest. So kick off Group G. Don't forget about James Corden. Never forget James Corden and the After Hours crew on Fox tonight. Another nightly wrap-up of the World Cup action. And especially intriguing was Zlatan and Erling in the house. So it was suitable ball that time. Tielemans was a fulminating effort from him earlier. Cross off. Now back beginning to take on the start. Belgium, and that was very fine teamwork with Misty countering into the attacking position.
Well, he's had more runs in the last 3 minutes than he had in the previous 70. And Muniac, really good from him on his weaker foot. He's not going to get that finish away. He's not under pressure. That's not his game. But Belgium running at Egypt all the time.
And Belgium up in the tempo. Tielemans trying to direct operations. It's not been a bit pedestrian from the Belgians for much of this game here on the Seattle Heat. Alaska operating in the middle. Alaska for the Red Devils. And Nagoy. I keep saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. The World Cup. You don't have to win every game in the group stage, but Belgium will base themselves not far from here at Renton. Certainly want to win the group, and with that would come the reward of round of 32 game at this same venue. It's a third placed side from a different group. Egypt certainly will have their own views on that subject.
You look at the shape of the group, the balance of the group with Iran and New Zealand for these two teams. A draw wouldn't be the worst thing to happen for either of them. But you do feel like the momentum of the game is with Belgium right now.
So there's always going to be another change. Zizou coming on for Egypt. On the screen there, see how many substitutions have been made by the respective sides. One by Egypt so far, 3 by the Belgians. Here is Araska, tiny player.
Very positive influence since he come on when they look to move the ball quick, the rest of the team set halves and prove the deep provided a different angle.
Certain players are favourites of the coach in question. He's already Garcia favourite. There's always going to be a yellow card as Maxime de Pamper got himself into trouble.
He's got it wrong with me. Too slow. He's certainly in trouble. Invasive action. Replace the look full-back and he looked himself.
Cross of the ball to the place for Brighton. Came through the ranks of Brighton. Actually 2 changes here. Zico goes off. In comes Zizou. Mustafa Zizou. And we've been waiting for this one. The senior statesman on his birthday, Mohamed Salah. That's his way up, there we go. Very happy returns. Mo Salah. And it's a bit like a passing of the torch moment, because on in his place comes Hamza Abdelkarim. Only 18, has been playing for Barcelona youth team. From Eli, fourth youngest player here at the World Cup.
Another presence on the move. Some isolated figure at times. He's a bit more of an attacking number 9. I think up there.
Safety first. Indication by Ibrahim. Resilience from him. And Tahini. All the defenders for Egypt. That was an optimistic idea. Missouri. Lueders is keen to forward runs on the pitch and scored the goal earlier on, but others doing that as well now.
Zizou made that run there. It's just one that you think you put this right-hand side where Mo Salah is tapping in and playing as a number 10. All of a sudden you've got 2 centre forwards and Zizou making runs in behind. Pretty much in a 4-4-2. A little bit more open from Egypt.
Zizou from the attack now. He is De Bruyne for Belgium. Doku. Moves forward nicely for Gaza. The kick goal. Thwarted, however. Even just having him on the pitch has upped Belgian confidence. But it's
strike the two centre halves, they've got very narrow. And so all of a sudden, there's a little bit more space elsewhere for the likes of Trossard now.
Fortunately for the captain, Dions. Now back in here in the Pacific Northwest. Tomorrow on Fox, it's a huge triple header. France against Senegal, followed by Iraq, Norway, and then Argentina beginning their title defence against Algeria. All tomorrow on Fox, coverage from 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Thanks for over there. Going to get difficult for his opponents. Taken on by Zizou. From the line to take any risks. Transfer with Fati. Egypt having a very good account of themselves. There's a little mystery about them landing like there at this World Cup. Never won an individual match. Which was way back in 1934, but it went in only one game and then went home. It's not worked in those days.
Well, they've shown enough today. It might not be today, this might well end up all square, but shown enough that they've got no letdown about them. Are comfortable within themselves. I think that's how it's got them well drilled and very well disciplined. A good unit.
So inside the final 10 minutes. Ibrahim, walking pace. Zizou. Enterprising here. Vicinity far too close to Courtois. Coming to Bologna. Messing about that. Trying to go. Challenge coming in from Henny. Brazilian referee wants a word. Rob.
They're at half time of this, 80 minutes into the game, and he's still not been called. By a number of fouls, by the encounter fouls, by the policy positions doctor's been in, down on the bench, the substitutes and officials are asking the question, going, how has he managed this?
Exact same thought when Schumacher was to brag, or expert when it comes to the laws of the game. So I guess, lenient by the referee, his verdict. We would agree, Mike.
Politically correct, shall we say.
Good way to put it. So the free kick taken by the man. Will be succeeding in giving it away. Tions and Nicky. And a strong away. And they try to switch into counter-attacking mode again. Egypt taking charge of the situation. There was Ngoy, Boku making the run. Both sides are losing custody of it, and it's Egypt's turn now. Zizou. There's it again. He was bundled to the ground as that was developing.
Fantastic save, wasn't it? Really good feet, quick across the line. Just not quite the pace on the header.
Even Steven. Here in Seattle and Courtois to watch that all the way. Suspected the whole thing wasn't really by design.
Awkward. He's had a couple of awkward moments, Courtois. He's had to deal with things like this, just making sure, because not so much the ball was going to stay on, but where it was going to bounce to at the other end. And it was slightly cushioned, but watch the number of steps that Shabir gets in. 3 strides within that time. Makes it look a little more comfortable than it is. A really good save from the keeper.
Zizou with a deep corner, trying to get it to curl away. Offside, put it clear his lines. Manouche with the shot that was charged down immediately. The youngster, the Karim, wanting inside the box that time, Egypt. A bit of changes afoot here for Belgium with Hans van Aken. To come on, and Matias Fernandez Pablo as well. Eddie Arago pulling it back. The timing was a little bit off, however.
There's a real edge to the game now. Enterprising stuff from Egypt. Kept going. You thought they were going to wilt under the pressure from Belgium, but they come again.
Zizou again. Rash player a few minutes ago. Lukaku, quite a dramatic entrance. Shows the regular goal scorer. Everybody does it quite like Romelu Lukaku. And now for the Belgian personnel changes. Doku's number is up, and so is that of De Bruyne. Going to be Kevin De Bruyne inspired victory for Belgium. You mentioned Van Aken was very skillful, is on. Matias Fernandez Pablo as well. 21-year-old. And Niera really had to get to the ball and under pressure. Enjoy Abde Karim. Well, that is too long and too strong for Manouche. Inside the final 5 minutes of normal time. Still 1-1 between Belgium and Egypt.
Coming up. He's a creative, clever player. Only got a few minutes. Doku's not quite clicked for them today. We've got to see him make a decision that today's enough. Save him for later stages.
Fernandez Pablo, very high hopes for him with the future in mind. Lukaku with his head to sailed over the top.
He's got to score. He's got to score from there. Unmarked. Free header. Wonderful ball in, gets a yard in the middle of the box, and there's the time, the space. Not there, 8 yards out, there's no real reason, it's just a miscue. Complete misread from him. Can't believe it. Got the intro though.
To be a bit rusty. They play not very much football this season. A muscular problem, as that was applying to Kevin De Bruyne as well. Teammates at Napoli in Italy. Nice cross supplied by Raska. Because he acquitted himself pretty well since coming on. Belgium have used the full complement in terms of substitutes. Be disappointed if this does end in a draw. It's also possible it won't hurt them too much. We shall see. Depends on how the rest of the group goes. And so substitutions here for Egypt. Ibrahim Adel going to come on. Karim Hafez is the other.
Had their moments. I think they feel walk away with this with maybe a little feeling of what if.
Season has been full of running since coming on. And once his path back there to Kaiser. No transgression apparently.
Two arms on the body. Kova's making sure he's outside the box. He's giving away the foul. He's saying, I'll tell you what, I'll give away the foul, but as long as it's a free kick and not a penalty. Nothing's interesting. You can't believe it. It's just the referees next to him saying to him, what have you not seen?
This is the thing about Egypt. They do quickly spring into attacking action. Zizo this time. Boy had to react again. Sprinted out of there. In the 90th minute. Here in Seattle on this baking hot day. 1-1 between Belgium and Egypt. Still time for either side to snatch victory. Henny, and that was composed play, came on to Kaiser. Still keen to win every battle out there, the Egyptian players. Mikulen is the defender who was able to slide it down to there, put it over Davies.
Well, they're asking the questions in these closing moments.
Tielemans. Quick ball forward. Hernandez pulled up. Lukaku didn't quite have bias. So lumbering it up. Towards the ball. Relatively straightforward task for Arabia. 5 added minutes at the end here.
It's there, isn't it? The game is there for either team. Just that one moment, that clinical edge.
Actually almost zigzagging runs. The keeper quickly onto it. The challenge was apparently a good one from Arabia. And here they come again, Egypt. Another time at the end of the game. Raska has been singing his praises. Arabia. Shabir, fine goalkeeping performance from him. To go with quite a few top-notch goalkeeping performances from, I'd say, unheralded keepers at the highest level, Robbie at the World Cup.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Saw one a couple of days ago for Qatar. Today it came dirty. Good, but making sure he's getting nowhere. I think the referee was taking the easy way out by not giving anything there. So that's I don't know what you think.
Tielemans. 2 minutes into added time. Of course, this will be the venue for the USA's next game against Australia. And we're looking forward to that. Another sudden Trossard gliding through. The youngster, Hernandez pulled it. Who wants it? Lukaku, maybe. Back to go though. And it's crowded scene. So many defenders back there for Egypt. Spread in by Fanaka. To see it through. If you have the power to offer Egypt 1-1 with Belgium at the outset, majority for Egypt will say we'll take that. Lukaku is Belgium such a focal point. An attack, something they were lacking earlier in this game. They kept the line in the line and not proving to be terribly effective. Which twice the referee, I have to say, surely not going to ignore my appeal here, and indeed a free kick it is.
Yeah, this is the last minutes of the game. Fortunate there, Phil. The amount of free kicks we haven't seen given and then one for that. It's pretty soft. Especially if it leads to a winning here, because you feel it could be it.
The Belgian fans inspire the Red Devils to a last gasp victory.
Lukaku, you can see there, he's dragging all the attention. 3-4 white shirts around him. He's looking beyond that towards the far post at the top of your screen. Goy is free.
In by Tielemans, and it was Menegere hanging it out.
Dragging the attention. At the near post, not far post. When you make the contact before the near post, it makes it such a difficult finish. And outside the right route, not impossible.
Does finish in the draw. I think we might be entitled to say fair enough.
Yeah, you feel both teams have had their moments, both teams have played.
There's a minute, there's still time for that situation to change. Bodies in there, including the youngster, Karim. Almost had the 5 additional minutes. So Belgium certainly the favourites to win the group. They've had the work cut out for them here. But will be that. And I don't think either side will be sleepless.
Nobody wanna get.
1-1 the final score.